Hi there guys, it's Helen from Slim and Stylish and I'm coming to you with a really quick and very easy tutorial today. I've made these cards this week and I've already blogged on them. I blogged on them Thursday for the Pootles Design Team Challenge because every Thursday throughout October we are having to design a card or project using the Brightly Lit Christmas set. As you've been following me, you probably know that I love this set. I think it's great. And there is an opportunity for you to win this set. So please head over to my blog and read what you need to do to win it. It's a like and share on Facebook, or any orders in an increment of £10 gives you a chance to win this set. However, on Thursday I did a blog that featured these cards and I want to show you how to make them. They used a gorgeous technique which is called the Baby-wipe technique, and it is so simple and so easy, especially if you're doing a mass number of cards. I think I managed to make about 20 cards, all using this technique from one go, and it's simple and it's easy. It was also to ask you a bit of a question. I made the cards. Firstly, I made them with the tinsel, and secondly, I made them without. And I can't decide which one I like the most. This one's using the presents and the bow. Just the presents and bow again, and just the bows. But this is what I'm going to be showing you how to do, is how to get the multicoloured colours onto the base of your card. So what you need to do is you need something hard and plastic, ideally. So I'm using the top. This is the top of one of them Tupperwares that you bring the handles up and it locks everything in. So I'm using one of these. I've used this quite a few times, and as you can see it doesn't stain, so it doesn't really matter what you use for it. And you want a baby wipe. I don't have them, have the expensive baby wipes. I just have the Morrison Savers face wipes, and that's ideally what you need. You want to open it up completely, and then you want it to be folded 4 times. But what you ideally want, it's got picked up some of my hand, we'll put that bit in the middle, is it to be completely flat. Okay, so get rid of all of the lines that was in your baby wipe out. And then you want some re-inkers. So I've got 4 re-inkers here. I've got Pool Party, Island Indigo, just there, Wisteria Wonder, and Elegant Eggplant. I liked these all together because the cards that I was going to be using was based on Fresh Fig. I haven't got Fresh Fig in there, but I have put Fresh Fig on the back, and obviously with the sign. So I liked to keep it round the blues and the purples, a part of the rainbow. I'm trying to challenge myself when I do my Christmas blogs not to do them in green and red, so I'm trying to get a bit more of a different pattern on it. So my first one for the design team I think was black and silver, and my second one was multicoloured, and then this one's purples and blues, so I'm quite happy I'm doing that. So what you want to do is you want to take your re-inker and you just want to make a little, okay, you don't need to use much, and perhaps do it in about 3 places on here. Okay, you don't particularly want any gaps in there, but that's probably about 3 or 4 squishes, and I've just moved it around, so you are not using much of your re-inker, and you're kind of creating your own stamp pad. So coming with the Pool Party now, that was the Elegant Eggplant. Just join them together again, do sort of three sections. That is this colour. Should do one down here. This part's always hard to me because I like everything to look really pretty and to look gorgeous from the start, and of course this to me looks really messy. But the more you go on with it, the more messier it looks and bitty. By the time it comes onto your card, it looks gorgeous, so you just have to put up with it a bit. Do along there. There's that one. Probably link these together here. Okay, so that's the Wisteria Wonder. And then the Island Indigo. I like Island Indigo. I don't use it that often, but it's just so bright, and it definitely sharpens up these cards. So make sure you get a big dosage of that, because it's just fun. Okay. Oh yeah, let's really put a load of it in that corner. I'm just going to come along with the purple elegant eggplant, just to try and go over those bits where it's a little bit patchy. I'm just going to leave that for a couple of seconds to let all of the ink work in. You don't need to have a spritzer. I do have one. I have one here, one of the Stampin' Up ones, which I thought I might have to use because I left the top off my baby wipes, but it's merging quite well, so I'm not going to use it. But you really don't need them to be that wet. What you do need is you need your base part of the card. So these are 5 3/4 inches, sorry, 5.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. I'll do that again, 3 3/4 inches wide, 5.5 inches long, and they are going to form the base of my card. And I've got quite a few, because as I said, you can do quite a few from just this ink pad. So if I just put all my re-inkers away, again, I've got my present from this one and the bow that I had. It's the Bright Lit Christmas set. I've got those on the side here. So that should be it in it now. Yeah, it's running through. And what's nice about this is it runs through to the bottom, so that once you've got all of the ink used up from the top, you can flip it, go again, and you can keep doing that, and you get more usages from it. So you want to take your stamp. You can see now it's all merged into one. It's not the best light, but if I bring the light round so you can see it better, the filming doesn't like it. It starts to flicker. Can you see there? There's quite a few different colours and patches on it. Okay. Let's just move that away a bit. You want to take your stamp then. So I'm going to start with the present one. Actually, I know what I am going to do. I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper. I've got scrap paper anywhere. Yeah. I'm just going to put it underneath because I don't want to get any on my grid paper. Stamp in the same place and make sure it's inked up. You won't be able to see it clearly because you've got the two different colour inks. But yeah. Okay. You can now go to a completely different part of the ink pad. How beautiful is that? And you've now got about 3 or 4 inks onto the one present. So you can now go to a completely different part again. And pull it all off. If I go up here to where there was more Island Indigo, I think that is up there. Brings in some Island Indigo into it. And that is how you do it. Do it 3 or 4 times around the base of the card like that. Okay, and you can get some quite good colours going on there. I think I've used a little bit more on this ink pad of the fig than the elegant eggplant on this ink pad than I did on this one, which has got the Island Indigo on. And that's nice because it adds a bit of a difference. I'm just going to go into the corner here with my bow to try and pick up some of that indigo because I know I put it on that corner. There we go. I'm just stamping all of the free places. And that's the baby wipe technique. So simple, so easy, and it wasn't as messy as I thought it was going to be. And this is what's lovely about this stamp. You're going to see my head, and I do apologise, but you can go, because of its photopolymer, you can go straight over and fix a mistake like that. Doesn't particularly matter anyway, because that's where my ribbon will be. But that's how you create the backgrounds. And like I said, I managed to get about 20 backgrounds done that way. And when I'd finished, I probably did about 8 or 9. And I was then able to turn it over and use the back here, and then was able to turn it back again because that soaks through. So what I'm going to do, I've got these that I did yesterday. Well, I didn't do them yesterday, I did them Thursday for the blog. And they're already dry. So I'm going to use those while this one's drying, because you can smear them while it's still a bit damp. And I'm going to create the rest of the card for you. But that is how you create the background, and it's so simple and so easy. So I have adhered the background onto Fresh Fig. This was 1/8 of an inch more. So where this was 5 1/4 inches, I did this at 5 5/8 of an inch. And this was 3 3/4 of an inch, and I did it at 3 7/8 of an inch. So it's just that 1/8 of an inch wider. Okay, I used the Fresh Fig ribbon to come across and put a ribbon on there. Now what I'd suggest is I fast fused straight along the back. Okay. Like that. So it's then easier for me to create the bow. I'm really not sure as to whether I preferred the bow with the silver or without it. I still put a little bit of the tinsel just there, so it just gave it a bit of a glitz, and I really can't make my mind up. So I'm going to do it without the silver, but if you wanted to do it with the silver, you do the Fresh Fig bow first. So you stick it all down. And you do the bow. Like that. I'm enjoying challenging myself. I'm not challenging myself with anybody else. No one else is playing along. It's my personal little challenge to try and do as many Christmas cards as I can that's not in reds and greens. I think it's because I'm going to be doing a Christmas project through December, which is going to be a Christmas project every day. And I'm using lots of reds and greens for that. So when I'm doing these, I'm trying not to use red and green because I don't want to just... We have so many lovely colours and they can all go so well on the Christmas suite. I don't see why we just have to keep doing red and green all the time. So, there's my bow. When you come to using the silver tinsel for it, if you want to, you do exactly the same. You glue the tinsel in. In fact, I'll show you. I'll do this one with the... Like I said, I can't decide really which one I like the most. Anyhow, so you just put the tinsel right into the bow there and you glue it all the way along. I've got my silicone mat. I have got it somewhere. Where have I put it? This is the problem I always have with my silicone mat. Whenever I come to use the glues with my silicone mat, I can never find where I've put it. Right, well, we'll use it without the silicone mat, but you should use it with it. Bring it along to there, and you just want to glue it in there. So take a little bit of liquid glue. I'm not using fast fuse to glue it in this side because the fast fuse is quite thick and it'll always be tacky then. Okay. It doesn't matter on that side because you've got the sentiment that's going to be covering that. So I'm just going to hold that down for a few seconds. So it's not going to stick. Right, we'll use the fast fuse. When you're crafting yourself, you've got time to sit there and hold everything in place. You kind of haven't when you're on video. There we go. Right, so you've got it running straight along. Then you don't want much, probably about that much. Okay, and you start at the back, and all you do, you wrap the tinsel round the middle of the bow. Okay, after each time you've wrapped it, just pull it together again so it's a little bit tighter. You can use either tail because you're just going to knot the two tails at the end and push it under. So use either tail, don't let one of them get too small that you can't tie it. Okay, and try and make the whole of the knot covered. I'm just going to grab my scoring tool, it'll be a bit easier just to poke that through there. Okay. I do really like this tinsel. I'm liking it on the bag projects that I've got lined up to show you. I think it adds just a little bit of glimmer to it, a little bit of sparkle, especially at Christmas it's needed as hangers, but I'm not honestly sure whether I liked it on the Christmas card. I don't know whether it made it look messy. I wasn't sure. So when you get to the end, you just put it into a tie. Like that, and then you just tuck both ends. Double knot it, you don't want it unwinding. Okay, you just tuck both ends underneath the bow, like that. Pull the bow round to make sure you've still got a bow, and that was how I jazzed up my bows. Not sure whether you like it or not. I'm not 100% sure whether I do or not. Right, I stamped this using the most wonderful time of the year here onto the circle, and I used this bit here just to make it a little bit more accentuated on the sides. The circles I used from the stitched frame dies. They're these ones just here, and it's the stitch framelets, stitch shapes, and I use this one here which coordinates quite nicely with the 2-inch punch, and then I just 2-inch punched out the berry. I already have all of those done because I was just going to show you how to create the background, but I got carried away and I'm showing you all of it, mainly because I want your views on that bow. I don't know. Right, pop that up on some dimensionals and stick it just there. Okay, and then just take that, and I've got a 10-fold black base, so that's an A4 piece of basic black cardstock. There, and I've cut it in half and then I've folded it. Just stuck that on. Okay, hold that down. I'm thinking in my head, I know in my head I did it differently. I put dimensionals and didn't do it with the Tombow. I've done that with the Tombow and it's worked. It's obviously just come out a little bit because of the tinsel, but it still looks good, so it's both ways. And that's how you do the base. And this is going to be this stamping pad that I've made here. It's still ready to go, and I can still use it on my other bases. So what do you think? And what's your views? Do you like the tinsel? Do you prefer it just being plain? I'm in two 2 mines, I'm not sure. But those are my Christmas cards that I made this week and that I said I'd show you. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you.